mein Name ist Udo Grebe von Udo Grebe Game Design und ihr seht No Enemies Here Wargaming News. Hello, my name is Udo Grebe from UGG Games and you are watching No Enemies Here Wargaming News.
Revolution Games. A Mike Ranella design counterattack. The Battle of Arras 1940, a game designed by Michael Ranella, developed by Roger Miller. The graphics are Charles Keebler and the cover design is Randy Lane. Counterattack, The Battle of Arras 1940 is a two-player game simulating the British and French attack on the mobile German elements near Arras, France on May 21st, 1940. What you get with this game is one 17 by 22 inch map, 1/2 sheet of 5/8 inch counters, a cover player aid, and a 16-page rulebook. Tiny Battle Publishing. Tango Down is a tense game of modern house clearing operations with scenarios taken from both the headlines and the movies. Tango Down is a game designed by Greg Porter. The game development is by Mark Walker. The art is by Dave Mack and Thomas the Intern. This is a two-player game. Duration is 60 to 120 minutes. Complexity is low, and solitaire suitability is low. What you get with this game is 70 large 1-inch die-cut counters, a double-sided 11 by 17-inch map depicting a trashed office building on one side, and an abandoned warehouse on the other side. A full-color rulebook, 10 scenarios, and 18 action cards. From Tom Russell and Hollenspiel, Table Battles, the expansion number 3, Gettysburg. This is the third expansion to the Table Battles game by Tom Russell. The 6 scenarios you get are Little Round Top, the Wheat Field, the Peach Orchard, Cemetery Ridge, Culp's Hill, and the Second Day. Compass Game and Steve Rue's The Late Unpleasantness, 2 campaigns to take Richmond. Complexity is 4 out of 10, solitaire suitability is 5 out of 10. The time scale, 40 if it takes all summer scenario, 1 turn is 2 days. And for the Gates of Richmond, 1 turn is half a day. The map scale, point to point, movement, the unit scale, divisions, players, 2, playing time, 2 to 4 hours, designed by Steve Rue, developed by Dean Essig. In this game, you get 2 22 by 34 inch maps, 3 counter sheets, 2 deck of cards, 2 rulebooks, player aids, 3 6-sided die, and a box and a lid. That's the first song on this album. GMT! Ben Hull's Fields of Fire, Volume 2. This time it's the 5th Marines. And we have here the campaigns. Palaelu, September to October 1944. There are 8 offensive missions. The Choisin Reservoir, November-December 1950. 4 defensive and 3 offensive missions. And then there's Hue City, February 1968. 6 offensive missions. Mike Dennison's The Last 100 Yards. On the GMT page, there's a description that says the last 100 yards is unlike any tactical war game published to date. It introduces innovative systems intended to model small unit behavior in combat during World War II. It's fun, fast-paced, and provides a very good simulation of what it was like to command combat units at the platoon or company level. Even Dean Essig of the Gamers and MMP has great things to say about this game. The components. A game box. Well, Compass Games, it's a box and a lid, and GMT, it's game box. Jeez, what's Flying Pig gonna say soon? Anyways, 6 double-sided cardstock maps, 3 sheets of 4/5 7-inch counters, a sheet of 5/8 7-inch counters, combat terrain charts, player reference card, a game turn track, and dice. You know, I'm not very opinionated because this is a news show, you know what I'm saying? But I have to say something. A game box. A box and a lid. A nifty, handy, dandy box to put all your game goodness in. Well, at least that's a little bit flowery and ornate and artistic, but I expect it to be in a game box. Sure, sometimes games come in Ziploc bags. Yeah, that's good. What's next? You know? Hey, this game comes in a paper bag. Come on, guys, give me a break. You want to know what's happening on the big board? I'll tell you what's happening on the big board. Kevin, CEO of the big board, is giving us his 2018 top 10 picks. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Counterproductive Games takes a look at Topside Minis Battle of the River Plate set. Minis or not? He also reviews and discusses the rules to Naval Thunder Battleship Roll, a game of naval warfare 1939 to 1945. MARCOWARGAMER reviews Red Alert Space Fleet Warfare, a game designed by Richard Borg, published by PSC Games. MARCOWARGAMER also reviews Martin Wallace's new offering Milito, the Ancient Warfare card game, published by PSC. The Player's Aid do an unboxing of Old School Tactical Volume 2 expansion Ghost Front from Flying Pig Games, designed by Shane Logan. The gentlemen also review Donetsk Battle for the Airport from Yeah Magazine number 9. Tim Korchnoi of Bare Bones Wargaming is doing an unboxing of a game designed by Bruce Costello, the artist is Peter Schutz, published by Schutz Game, and this is First Strike 62. BLASTPOP takes a look and review and evaluates Panzer Grenadier Battle of the Bulge. This is a game released by Avalanche Press, designed by Michael Benninghoff and Brian L. Nipple. Jeff the Capuano takes a look at his Battle of the Bulge games. Dave of the Centurions Review is unboxing a Warhammer Underworld box, Shadespire. I think Dave must have missed a few steps from Micro Game to Compass's game, Silent War. He's doing an unboxing of designer Brian J. Miller's game, published by Compass Games. Dave also unboxes from Worthington Publishing in their Battle Maneuver series, Turning Point, designed by Richard Berg. Major Tom Solo with Tone Steady Season 2 Episode 1 has special guest Kevin Burson playing the Gulf War campaign of Down in Flames, Locked On, a game published by DVG. Mauro FAINA takes a look at a Modern War magazine game, Axis of Evil. Charles Cab of the Charlotte Area Historical Gaming talks about Memoir 44 and free campaign PDFs. Mo of Mo's Game Table is unboxing Revolution Games Washington's Crossing, a game designed by Roger Miller, the artists is Emmanuel Gottlieb Lutz and Mark Mahaffey. The OG, the original Grognard, continues his Second World War at Sea, The Coral Sea from Avalanche Press, Part 3. Kyle Seeley tests his new iPhone X while filming Gallipoli 1915, Churchill's Greatest Gamble. A game designed by Jeffrey Phipps, published by GMT. Vento Nuovo Games has a teaser number 3 out of Kiev 41. Jeff McAleer of the Gaming Gang reviews on the Daily Dope number 259, Space Core, a game designed by John Butterfield, published by GMT. The Gimpy Gamer, Gimpy's Gal, is back with Gimpy's Gal Guesses Heroes of Black Reach. This is in the Warhammer 4000 universe. Heroes of Black Reach is designed by Jan and Clem, published by Devil Pig Games. And not to be outdone by Gimpy's Gal, Gimpy is doing a review-through of Black Reach. Plus, he's continuing his Thunder East playthrough number 9. The Meeple University, Stella and Tarrant are giving you a brief overview of Nemo's War with a how to play and a 1-round playthrough. Nemo's War 2nd edition is designed by Chris Taylor, the artist is Ian O'Toole, published by Victory Point Games. The soft-spoken but formidable foe, Jonathan Townsend, is continuing his play of the Second World War, a print-and-play game, a massive print-and-play game by John D. Power. He is beginning his phase of 1944, or turn of 1944, or section of 1944, but he's beginning play of 1944. The itinerant hobbyist is pulling an A.J. Toynbee by mixing and matching, but in his own way. He's testing Lock and Load's tactical for 6mm or 10mm miniatures. Riccardo Masini has on the table sul tavolo Hitler's Reich World War II in Europe, a game designed by Mark McLaughlin and Fred Schachter, published by GMT. Enrico Viglino, the man famously known as Calandale, is doing a playthrough and a couple of vids of a game called Colonial, Europe's Empire Overseas. This is a game designed by Maxence Dumontet, Patrice Gasser, and Christophe Pont. The artist is Maxime Estapy, published by Stratagem Game Design.
Hey there folks, this is Mark and I'm going to answer Dan's questions for No Enemies Here, the Dice Tower. I'm not sure who I'm really answering these for, but Dan, my friend, has asked these questions and by flipping God, I'm answering them. So here they are. First we'll do the question. What was the game that made you the grognard that you are? Number one, I'm not a grognard. I'm kind of a universal kind of gamer. So maybe, how about my favorite game that I loved would have been Panzer Leader. Still have my original copy and the counters are actually worn out. Okay, so let's go to 1A. I understand the name Tiny Battle Publishing, but Flying Pig Games, why not Sinking Mother-in-Law or Honey You Ruined My Life Games is a game company name. Those are both brilliant names. Sinking Mother-in-Law was already taken because I looked up the domain name for that. Flying Pig Games just because flying pigs are impossible and I like doing impossible things, I guess. I also have a tattoo of it right here, but I've got on 2 shirts which I'm not going to take off, so that's it. Okay. Question number 2. These are really going to add up to more than 4. Are there any subjects that you won't gamify? Sure, there's a lot of subjects I won't gamify. Hopefully, I'll never do another East Front game. I love Platoon Commander Curse because I love the system. I'm just sick to death of doing World War II East Front games. Your games are of high quality and very reasonably priced. I know drug dealers have tactics that give you the first one for free. Is this your tactic, and do you plan one day to hike up the prices when we're hooked on your games? Absolutely. You might be confusing the two companies. Flying Pig Games are not cheap. They are reasonably priced. The MSRP on most of our box games are about $100, but for the type of quality we give, I think that that's very, very reasonable. Tiny Battle Games, on the other hand, are your typical folio games and sell for about $30. I know it was all said in jest, but that does bring up a serious question, and that is prices within the game industry. I don't think people realize how much more, for example, printers charge me now than they charged me when I started Lock and Load publishing in 2003. Prices have gone up significantly since then. So gradually game prices have to increase also. It's just inevitable. I read that you were a commander in the United States Navy for 23 years. What were your daily responsibilities? That varied one hell of a lot, because when I started out, I was an ensign with what was called the first lieutenant on a guided missile destroyer, and I was in charge of guys that painted the ship. Throughout my career, I became a commanding officer of a explosive ordnance disposal mobile unit 12, and my responsibilities were just to see that that we carried out our mission properly. I was also the operations officer for EOD Group 2 and EOD Group 1 on the West Coast, which just means a lot of things. So I did a lot of different things. Question 2C. You have a master's degree in warfighting. How does someone graduate with a degree in warfighting? Were there other degree options like how to disembowel an enemy at 30 feet? Yes, there were, and that's my minor. 2D. You had an article in Playboy. Elaborate. Well, I wrote them, and I said I would send them either nude pictures of myself or write them an article, and they said, for God's sakes, write us an article. Actually, it was back in the infancy of electronic entertainment, when people were when the game industry, the electronic game industry was breaking out, and I just sent them a query letter saying I'd like to review this game. And I did that 3 or 4 times, and I reviewed different PC games for them. Did I attend any of Hugh's parties? Yes, many, many of them. You are an author, a commander in the United States Navy. We're on to question 3. You are an author, a commander in the United States Navy, a musician, have a degree in international relations and a degree in warfighting. Those are the same degree. And are probably a good cook, which is not even close to true. Now you design games. Please explain. You know, again, I know you're just kidding, but there's no explanation. I just have done these things over the course of my life, and I think that most people will have done a lot of stuff over the course of their life also. So I don't feel like I'm any different, really. And, of course, I've played games since I was 9 and designed the first scenario for a game. Geez, I was making maps for the Avalon Hill Lamar game when I was 11, so that was quite a few years ago. So I've kind of been designing for a real long time. All right, and then 3 Alpha, the last one. With all this education, what's the next step? I don't know. It's like Bill Belichick said, I have a tough time planning further than a week ahead. I just want to keep going, keep having fun, keep meeting all the great people that I meet in this industry, and keep designing good games. Hi, I'm back with a special bonus edition of Dan Pancaldi's 4 questions. After I already answered like about 9, I found that there was a special overachievers section. So I'm going to answer those really quickly. Dan can't say anything to me because I did everything he gave me. So here are the questions. Air Force or Space Force? Who cares? Rock and roll or jazz? Definitely rock and roll. And I hesitate to even say rock and roll. I mean hard freaking rock is what I'm talking about. World War II or modern warfare? Modern warfare. Marilyn Monroe or Sophia Loren? Do you even need to ask? Marilyn Monroe. Guitar or drums? Always guitar. Baseball or football? Both. Bourbon or scotch? Scotch. Civilian life or military life? Civilian life. Bonaparte or Caesar? Who cares? Alfa Romeo or Ford GT? Again, do you need to ask? A Ford GT40 won Le Mans in '67, and I'll take it right now. You have a look reminiscent of Samuel de Champlain. Is this on purpose? No idea who that is, so let's say yes. All right, that's it. Thanks a lot. Take care.
From WargameHQ.com. And this week there's just one article. I was at a professional conference all week and didn't have the time to publish another. So we're looking at, should wargames ever really be finished? And this really comes back to the idea of all of these editions that are coming out. We're seeing lots of second editions and third editions, and they add all kinds of great new things to our favorite games. However, some people can feel alienated by that, and that comes down to this sense of ownership. So who really owns a game? Is it the designer who kind of gave creative birth to the game? Is it the fans who have spent long hours supporting games and lovingly crafting new strategies and all of the things that go along with loving a game as a player? Well, we're going to talk about that, and we're only going to scratch the surface, so be sure to comment about it and talk about it on Twitter. You can find that on WargameHQ.com. This is Keith for WargameHQ and No Enemies Here.
A short extract from Even Dicier Business, in which we travel back to a games night in 1820. Something ails you, Captain Faircock? It is a soldierly thing, Reverend. You are aware, owing both to my testimony as well as all the dents in the parish bugle, that I was present in that final affair with Bonaparte. Oh, indeed so. A fierce and most bloody encounter, as I hear tell. As you say, lost me dearest friend that day, the right honourable Arthur Trim Privet. Battle was almost at its conclusion when he received his mortal wound delivered by some stubborn French remnant. Foot? No, they hit him higher up than that.
Use this code to get 25% off DVG's website. Come on, what are you waiting for? 3 Moves Ahead, a podcast about strategy and war games. Episode 462. They talk about Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Gathering Storm. Hollenspiel's The Mary and Tom Show, Episode 72. Dice Tower West, the 6th to the 10th of March, 2019. That's right, 2019 in Las Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, it's sold out. The Dice Tower West will be held at the Westgate Resort in Las Vegas. Gary Con 11, March 7th to the 10th, 2019 in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Now the Gary Con is named after a man called Gary Gygax. and I just learned this. Gary Gygax was the co-creator of Dungeons and Dragons and the co-founder of TSR. And he was also the co-founder of the International Federation of Wargamers. This is Gary Gygax. Now do yourself a favor and go check out Gary Con's webpage and see the special guests who are going to be there. You're going to flip out. Gary Con. AirCon, the Analog Gaming Festival, is happening in the United Kingdom in Harrogate Convention Center, Friday the 8th till Sunday the 10th, March 2019. The BFG Con 2019, the big Frederick Gaming Convention, is happening March 15th to the 17th, 2019 in Frederick, Maryland. The BFG Con is happening in the Clarion Inn and Event Center in Frederick, Maryland. Adepticon 17 is the world's premier wargaming convention that is happening March 27th to the 31st, 2019. Adepticon has 4,500 attendees and will be held at the Renaissance Schaumburg Convention Center Hotel in Schaumburg, Illinois. Thank you for watching this show. Another week, another show. Thank you to my sponsors. Thank you to my patrons. Please think about supporting the show. And I'll see you next week. And what's this album? But I have to say something. I have to say something.